All right, now we played some really good and interesting games that I'm excited to talk about. First one is Custom Heroes from AEG, and we did discuss this a little bit from you played it, or we got to see it at PhD.
Got to see it, yeah.
We didn't actually get to play it until the other night. Tell them what's the deal.
So mostly, it's basically a trick game. When the starting player may play like 2 3s, for example, and it's up to people to try to empty their hand by either playing an equal or higher number of cards. However, the whole gimmick in this is you're playing heroes, and you also have these see-through upgrade cards, which you can use to change like a 3 to a 7 in order to beat another card, or lower, whatever the case may be.
So if you are familiar with Mystic Vale, this is the same designer using that same card crafting system, which is really cool.
So when you start off with, we played with 3 players, so start off with 3 sets for numbers 1 through 10. You know, we ended up with maybe 1 6, 1 9, and everything else like 12 or above.
Yeah, some 12s, a couple of 16s.
Yeah.
There. And there's also subtracting ones too. Sometimes you want to make a card worse or better, and you can't, there's a limit. Each one can only have 4 upgrades to it, so you can't just like stack one with 20.
And there'll be some rare ones that have abilities which you can either spend using power tokens or earn power tokens by not using the abilities, which switch things up a bit, which I'll talk a little bit later on after we talk about our experience of the game. So it just becomes this sort of wild thing. And the interesting thing is, if I upgrade my card to be really good, all the cards are shuffled and re-dealt again next round. I might not have that. He might.
Right, yeah, so it's not like just because you upgrade your cards, you're almost sort of relying on each other to upgrade the cards equally, so you don't get a really bad hand, or you get, so I don't know if you really mentioned, because the other thing you can do is you can start with just 1 card, but if you have multiple cards of the same number, you can play as many as you have.
Just I meant like a general trick set, you can play either 1 or 3.
Right, so like one hand, just from all the cards we augmented, I had like 5 8s.
Yeah, so you're just like...
You only start with what, 10 cards?
Yeah, so you're just like, 8!
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm halfway done. This is great. There's also a pretty good catch-up mechanic where they award you points or not based on how well you ended in the round.
The first person who ends their hand gets the most victory points, but the least amount of upgrade cards and power tokens. And as you go down, you get less victory points, but you get more of the other 2.
Right.
So if I did really poorly and came in last, I may not get any victory points, but I'm going to have all these upgrade cards next turn, and you're just going to be terrified because I'm going to be like, beat you, beat you, beat you.
Yeah, so I really liked this game. Honestly, I liked it more than Mystic Vale. It's a very simple kind of trick-taking game, but the upgrade element adds plenty of interesting depth. So that, I mean, every time you play, you are literally going to have completely different cards, and based on who you're playing with and what you're even going to get, even every round, it's unpredictable in a good way.
I did enjoy it, but I gotta say, I really wish we played with more people.
Yeah,
and here are my reasons. Because those 3, it turned out to be like, this person won this round, then this one, it's sort of like almost predictably rotated. Mm-hmm. And the other big thing is we didn't have you get a number of ability cards depending on the number of players. If there are more players, there are more ability cards, and some of them, I mean, you didn't get to read through them, but some of them are really cool. One is you play at the beginning of the round, and instead of for that round, instead of going for a higher number, you go for lower. So if you played 3 6s, 3 5s beats that.
No, that's very interesting. And
so
that's late game.
No, you can do some really crazy stuff. That's why it definitely was a lot of fun, and I love the customization thing. This isn't much of a grape because it is protecting it, but just a heads up, if you do buy this and you're shuffling all the upgrade cards, you're gonna get a lot. They put a little plastic film to protect the cards in the factory. You're gonna have to peel a lot of that off before you.
Or you're gonna get to.
Yeah,
it feels good. Another thing I'll say about this game is once you get into it, the actual gameplay itself is very fast and very obvious to pick up on. But in teaching it, I thought especially if you're not familiar with something like Mystic Vale, it can be, I found it like a little weird to wrap my head around just exactly, I can play these numbers this time, so then when can I upgrade? anytime, and then I can take it out, or I can't. So I would say that's maybe a caveat just for new players, or people who aren't major board game players. I don't know that the learning curve time matches the actual depth, you know what I mean?
Well, of course, that's why we know Mystic Vale was actually designed to do that for
tutorial,
Edge of Darkness. And I just made me think of something, but then I totally forgot about it. But
teaching,
Nope.
easy to play, sleeves. I don't know.
But yeah, overall, a lot of fun messing
The
around.
artwork is cool and funny.
Yeah.
The different things you can add onto them with the new cards.
Yeah, and if something adds or subtracts, you can, depending on how cool it is, it sort of makes sense. Like something that adds like +9 would be this awesome sword with a skull on it, and something that's -4 is your character's holding a fish.
Right. So yeah, really funny. Check out Custom Heroes. It's a good game.
If you enjoyed this video, it was just a snippet of our full-length podcast, which you can find on our YouTube channel every week. So please go ahead, like, and subscribe for more board game-related content coming at you in the future.
And don't forget to check out RollForCrit.com, where we actually sell a lot of the games we talked about, as well as post news and all our other videos. Until then, I'm Will Keeler.
I'm Jonathan Estes, and this is Roll for Crit.